any app, the minimum requirement to run the app is the operating system. If you don't have the operating system, then none of the app gonna run or none of the program gonna run. Okay, you have no example with you if you think that I am running my app or my program without operating system. It means there is only one use case of any operating system in the world. किसी भी OS का सिर्फ एक ही काम है, वो आपके प्रोग्राम को रन करना. इसके अलावा OS का कोई काम है ही नहीं. So if you talk about any operating system, there is only one use case of any operating system in the world to run the program. Now it is your choice which operating system you want to use. But for the corporate world, they don't use much Windows. They don't obviously use Mac in the main data centers. They mostly use 99% use Linux operating system. If you go to Google or Facebook, the entire site that you open for Netflix, it's completely running on the Linux operating system. Okay, so you want to do something on the technical world, okay, you should have a good learning understanding of the Linux. That does not matter you want to go for Linux jobs or not. Okay, maybe you want to do a software developers or machine learning or IoT guys or augmented reality. If you don't have much great understanding of Linux as your operating system, you can't do much. You won't be able to grow much in your career. So that's how our journey started. Okay, so again, if you want to run the app, you need the OS. So right now I'm going to discuss a lot about OS. And when I say OS, I mean to say operating system, and I'm going to start with the Linux Edge operating system. But to use the operating system, you have to install it. And in today's world, there's 4 ways to install any operating system in the world. इसमें में आज 4 ही तरीके हैं जिसके थ्रू आप OS को इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं. So let me write those steps for you. Okay, or in this training, we will see almost all 4. All 4. So, one minute. ये इसका screen. One minute, guys. तो ग्लासी लुक आ रहा है इसका. स्क्रीन का कुछ चेंज किया शॉर्टकट. 7 से पूछना. Okay, so guys, if you talk about okay, as a human being, we are the human being. Okay, we are the human being, and if you want to use any program that is technically known as app, okay, the minimum requirement is you need to run the app or the program on the top of the operating system. And the way I try to tell you, we are going to use and learn Linux Edge operating system. That's one point. Okay, but to use any operating system, in our case Linux, okay, we have to first install the operating system, and there's 4 ways in today's world through which we can install any operating system. Okay, the first way is, I think my voice is audible here. Okay, is to install your OS directly in your laptop. For example, what laptop content? Hardware, right? So if you install any operating system directly on the hardware, means RAM, CPU, hard disk, okay, that installation is known as bare metal. So first way, पहला तरीका जिसके थ्रू हम किसी भी OS को इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं, उसका नाम, उस तरीके का नाम, the approach is called bare metal. So right now, in my case, in my laptop, okay, my Windows installed directly on my laptop, so I can say my Windows installed in the bare metal. So one of the approach that mostly everyone have it. Okay. Second approach is to install the operating system. We can use a concept called virtualization. So this is also one of the method through which we can install any operating system. Okay. Just for example, what virtualization is. Virtualization is, okay. So you have someone, ये थोड़ा सा ग्लासी लुक आ रहा है इसका, विजिबिलिटी नहीं आ रही. कुछ यहाँ पे है क्या? नहीं, यहाँ पे कुछ शॉर्टकट होता है एक्सटेंडेड का. ये क्या करूँ इसको? PC only. Guys, 1 minute please. नहीं, इसके कारण नहीं है, ये एक्चुअली एक्सटेंडेड स्क्रीन. आज तक तो नहीं आया, इसको दबा दो। हाँ ये हो गया, विजुअल है वहाँ पे। ओके, सो गाइस किसी भी ओएस को इंस्टॉल करने के लिए चार तरीके हैं, आप जो चाहें वो तरीका यूज कर सकते हैं। फर्स्ट इज बेयर मेटल, सेकेंड इज वर्चुअलाइजेशन। एग्जांपल के तौर पे अगर आप लोगों के पास जो फिजिकल हार्डवेयर है, ओके, when I say physical hardware, I mean to say your laptop example. So in the laptop, the minimum requirement is what you need. You need RAM, you need CPU, you need hard disk, you need network card and so on. This is known as the resources of the physical hardware. तो अगर आपकी फिजिकल हार्डवेयर के ऊपर आपने सीधे ओएस को इंस्टॉल कर रखा है, okay, then this kind of installation is known as bare metal. So this is a current setup, I think everyone have it. Okay, but there's one challenge in the bare metal setup. The OS has been created in such a way, okay, if you install one OS on top of one hardware, there is no way to install second OS and run parallelly. Okay, for example, maybe in your laptop you have a 8 GB RAM, for example, you might have 4 CPU core, you have a lot of hard disk free, and then let's say you're running Windows as your operating system, and Windows using, in my case, let's say 2 GB RAM. So almost 8 GB is free because you have total 8. Okay, so still you have a lot of free resources, but still there's no way available to install one more OS and run parallelly. Again, let me repeat my statement. We can install multiple OS in bare metal. That's called dual booting or dual setup. But what I'm saying, only one OS you can run at one point in time. तो आपके लैपटॉप में दो OS इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो, लिनक्स भी विंडोज भी, दो हो सकता है एक साथ, पर रन एक बार में एक ही होगा. और when you run any OS, इसको boot. At one time, only one OS you can boot. Why this so? This is because of a lot of technical, hard-coded technical reasons. Okay, so in the bare metal, you can only run one OS at one point in time. But can you install multiple OS? Yes. So in your laptop, can you install 10 different OS together? Yes. But can you run all 10 together in bare metal? No, only one. ऐसा क्यों? Because जैसे OS रन चालू होता है, चालू होते ही आपका OS के अंदर प्रोग्राम होता है, वो आपके हार्डवेयर पे कब्जा कर लेता है, बोला this is mine, this is my property, no one can use. That program is known as kernel. What is kernel? You can think your car is more like a operating system, and the car we have an engine. So engine is kind of the kernel for the operating system. So every OS has a kernel. So whenever I start the OS, that is called boot the OS. The first thing that is start in the OS is called kernel. And what kernel do? They will control the entire hardware and say this is my property. And because the entire property of this kernel, this OS, so if other OS would like to run or boot, it won't allow. Okay, so the bad thing about the bare metal is only one OS can run at one point in time. Second bad thing is they are wasting the resources because one OS was not able to use entire RAM and CPU. But the good thing about the bare metal is there's only one good thing. The performance is very high. Okay, performance is very high. So whenever you need a high performance, very high performance, because OS is running directly on the hardware. So when you see high performance, speed of anything, okay, then bare metal is always useful. That is the reason any app in the world, because I told you why we need the OS. There's only one use case. Okay, for any OS, the minimum why we need the OS to run the app. App means a program, maybe Python program, Java program, scripting, .NET, Node.js, anything, databases. Okay, this is the requirement of OS. That's all. But any program that needs the performance, they have to run on the bare metal. One of the example would be we have one app called Google search engine. It's an app, right? Program. They need performance because they want to score the result in very quickly. Okay, to give that performance, they have to do many things. One of the things they need, they have to do many things. But one of the things they have to run the OS on the bare metal. तो गूगल का सर्च इंजन के नीचे जो ओएस चल रहा है, वो सर्च इंजन एक प्रोग्राम है जो किसी लैंग्वेज में लिखा होगा, उसके नीचे जो ओएस चल रहा है इस समय वो bare metal पे चल रहा है. Okay, because they want a performance. Okay, so if somebody asks why we need bare metal, because of performance. But why we don't need bare metal? Because there's a lot of resources. Like only one OS allowed to run at one point. But if you don't looking for the performance, much performance, I guess, you have to save money. So there's a trade-off. कि ये चाहिए कि ये चाहिए. The trade-off. Let's go trade-off. Okay, so whenever you have a trade-off, means you want a performance or want to save money. Only one you can achieve. If you want a performance, invest more money. Less some of the resources well, maybe waste. Go for bare metal. But you want to save money. Because I know 8 GB RAM only one OS can run. But that OS only need 2 GB RAM, which is waste of 6 GB for example. Okay, but you don't want to waste this money. So in this 8 GB, let's say you can launch 4 OS together. Why don't you run 4 OS? You save money, right? Rather than invest on 4 hardware, take 1 hardware. So if you want to save money, if a company have to do cost optimization, okay, then don't go for bare metal. For most of the scenario, go for virtualization. Because virtualization give you a concept. Okay, in that one hardware, you can run multiple OS together. You can install also, and you can run also. Because there is difference between install and run. Install means you're installing it. What I mean by installing, we'll see in a more minute. Okay. So in your hardware, in your hard disk, in your C drive, Windows installed. But you're going to plug the power button. Okay. Then you OS start. Just go boot. And after boot, only you can use the OS. ऐसा हो सकता है कि आप OS shutdown पड़ा use कर पाओगे, नहीं कर पाओगे, right? To run any program, you have to first start the OS. Okay. So if you want to save money, if you think your resources being invested, then go for virtualization. Because why? Because virtualization gives you concept that in one hardware, I'm using SD as a word, hardware, LSSW, hardware, you can run and install multiple OS together. And if you talk about very level, high level idea how to work, so it is something like this. Again, in the virtualization, we have again one single hardware, let's say your laptop, your physical resources, RAM, CPU, hard disk, network card, motherboard, many more things. Okay. So what we can do on the top of this hardware, we can install one operating system. It could be any operating system, maybe Windows also. Okay. And now on the top of Windows, we can install one program. So this is the beauty of this program, right? So what this program will do, they will create a virtual hardware. What a virtual hardware? Okay, the real hardware that you have in a laptop, let's say 8 GB RAM, this is real hardware. You can go and remove and see it, it look like, you can touch it. It's called real, physical. But this layer is one kind of program, which is one kind of intelligent program. It will do a kind of mimic. Okay, वो क्या करेगा? आपके real hardware को अलग-अलग part में divide कर देगा. और ऐसे दिखाएगा कि individual hardwares. So this layer, what they do, they say I am creating a different hardware. Okay, and let's say in this hardware, it's not real, but in this hardware we have 2 GB RAM, we have 1 CPU, we have 10 GB hard disk and so on. अगर physical जाके देखोगे तो ऐसा कुछ होगा नहीं. In your laptop you might have only one single slot of 8 GB. You might have only one 4 CPU core, one CPU or processor. You have only one hard disk. But this program will create a kind of virtual thing. That's not real, but work like a real. Virtual means it's not real, you can't touch it, but it look like and work like a real. So this program will create a virtual hardware. How many? Depend how many you want. You can create one hardware, you can create one more hardware, you can create one more hardware, you can create many more hardwares. Okay? And on the top of this hardware, because they're hardware, now on the top of this hardware, we can install one operating system. Because what OS need? Hardware. And because we have multiple hardwares, independent hardwares, or independent resources, so we can install multiple operating systems and also run it. Because I told you, whenever you install the OS and run the OS, they have the kernel, right? Kernel say, hey, I'm looking for the independent, isolated hardware. Do you have? They say, yes, we have. In the realistic, they don't have. They create a virtual, a kind of illusion thing, but then work like a real. Okay, so who will do this part? This specialized layer, this is called program, and this layer is technically known as hypervisor. They will do full. Okay, but hypervisor is a program actually, and any program you want to run, you need OS. That is the reason we are running one OS behind the scene. One OS behind the scene. Okay, so technically you can say this is my laptop. इस लैपटॉप के ऊपर मैंने विंडोज को इंस्टॉल किया है. Okay, and on top of this Windows, I am going to install one hypervisor, one program, one software come in the market. I install one hypervisor, and on the top of this hypervisor is a program. This program is also known as virtualization software. So when you say hypervisor or you say virtualization technology software, it's the same thing, no difference. Okay, and on the top of this, okay, with the help of this hypervisor or the virtualization tools or the softwares, okay, we can create multiple machines, and these machines are known as VMs, virtual machines. Virtual machines. Or because they look like real but they're not real, so we can create multiple VMs, and every VM we can install multiple OS and run multiple OS. One is Windows, second could be also Windows, third is Red Hat Linux, one is Ubuntu Linux, one is Mac. Multiple OS you can run, and this is reason guys, these OS are known as virtual machines. So any OS that run on your laptop directly are known as OS, that's all, for the machines. But any OS that run on this hypervisor are known as virtual machines. But they work real. So what do you achieve? What do you achieve in this? You achieve money, cost, पैसा बचेगा ना, क्योंकि अभी तक मेरे सिंगल हार्डवेयर पे एक OS रन हो रहा था. If you want to run 4 OS, you need 4 hardware. Now in the virtualization, in 8 GB, you can run 4, 5, 6, depend. Multiple OS together. So it's saving the money. But what you are not getting? Performance. Because everybody OS have one single hardware. Finally, ये काम तो आपके main RAM और CPU पे होने वाला है, right? Okay, everybody hitting same RAM and same hard disk because they're running on the top of one hardware, so they're hitting the performance. So thing will be slow down. Not so much, but compared to the slowdown. It means whenever you want to save the money, cost optimization, go for virtualization. When you want performance, go for bare metal. Can both the technology used in the company? Yes, both. Some part they use bare metal, some part they use virtualization. Okay, this is one point. And if you talk about software, because this is software actually, if you talk about software, so there's a lot of software available in the market. One software of the hypervisor technology name, concept name I can say. Okay, I can say technology name is virtualization. This program name is hypervisor, and there is a lot of hypervisor program available in the market. One that is very famous, I think you might have used already, from Oracle company. It's called Oracle VirtualBox. Oracle VirtualBox. One from the VMware company you might heard about, VMware ESXi or VMware Workstation. One from Microsoft is called Hyper-V. One from your open source world, Linux world, it's called KVM, Zen, and many more. Many more. So these are some famous names I'm talking about. So whenever you want to run multiple OS, you can pick any of the software. In our training, okay, we are not going to install Linux because we are going to do a lot of things in the Linux operating system. So we are not going to install Linux on the bare metal. We are going to install Linux in the top of virtualization. And for the virtualization, we have to install the software called Oracle VirtualBox. And how to install the software is pretty simple. I think we have given this link to you already. Okay. Otherwise, you can go to uh, Google, search for Oracle virtual box download. Click on this link. And in my case, I have the physical hardware already. On the top of this, I am running with the Windows as an operating system. Okay. So I am going to install the hypervisor software from the Oracle company. Name is VirtualBox. So what is VirtualBox? It's a hypervisor from the company called Oracle. Okay. So I'm installing for my Windows. So there's a link here, Windows host. Click and download the software. Double click and install it. So double click install is very simple. Click, click, click. Next. In my case, it's already installed, but you can install by this way. Okay. So this is one thing you have to do. In my case, it's already installed. So if I search in my Windows Oracle Virtual Box, that is already there in my system. So guys, we'll give you some time in a minute. Me and my team gonna help you in this part. I'm just giving you some vocabulary here. Because this is very common vocabulary I keep on using in my classroom. So you should be saying, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. Okay, so in my case, it's already installed. Or in your case, you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 VM already installed. आपके केस में एक भी नहीं होगा. I will show you how to install. इसका मतलब मैं एक सिंगल लैपटॉप में मल्टीपल ओएस इंस्टॉल्ड भी है और मैं उसको चालू भी कर सकता हूँ. I can start boot. Okay, and everyone will work like real OS. They have a real kind of real RAM, real CPU, but internally they will shared from the base hardware. So this second way of installing. So in our classroom, we are going to do most of practical here on the top of VMs. Okay, and one more term I want to use here is VM is also known as guest OS. So when I say VM or the guest OS or the virtual machines are the same thing. And the base OS, let's say in my case Windows, where they're going to launch this VM are known as host machines. The Windows is my host because they're hosting the operating system. Okay, so this is one point. This four way I told you to install the operating system. One is bare metal. I explained to you what is this. Second is virtualization. Okay. Third is, पता क्या होता है guys, जब हम कॉर्पोरेट में काम करते हैं या हम इंटरव्यू में जाते हैं, कुछ कुछ वोकेबलरी काम आती है बोलने के कि सर वी हैव डन दिस सेटअप, वी चेक आवर ऐप इन द वर्चुअल मशीन एंड आई यूज हाइपरवाइजर कॉल्ड VBox. ओके, अब ये बात मैं बोलूं कैसे, वर्ड आएगा तो बोलूंगा ना, इसलिए इसमें कोई टेक्निकल समझने के लिए नहीं है. It's just information, so you can speak something before you engage in the interview to do something, to explain about what they're going to ask. Okay, otherwise if you're new, no worries, because we keep on using this vocabulary again and again. You might not be trained to understand these vocabularies. Okay, third way is for installing the operating system is, but ये जो दो तरीके हैं ना, फर्स्ट और सेकंड, पे कमी है. अभी पता क्या है, there is one challenge in this setup 1 and setup 2. Okay, the challenge is in both the way you have to arrange your hardware, you have to invest the money, you have to buy the hardware, you have to give the money upfront. This is called upfront cost. For you it is one laptop, but for the company, for example, if you talk about Netflix, right now Netflix is running the app not in one computer, they're using 1 lakh computers. If you write in Google Netflix case study, what first blog you'll find, Netflix is running the Netflix site or the app in 1 lakh computers together because they have huge client base. So for company, it's not 1 or 2 computers, they are having thousands of computers are running to run the app. And those computers, we don't use the word computer. Now I'm going to use the word server. So when I say computer, a server is the same thing. So Netflix is using 1 lakh server at this point in time, maybe more, I can say. Okay, but there is no guarantee right now Netflix is doing well. Maybe after 1 month, they might not do well. So what happened with that investment? If they buy 1 lakh computer, maybe they might not need 1 lakh computer or server after 1 month. You never know. Is that today's world, is so fluctuating. Something new gonna come up. Okay, so what these companies are very smart. They don't buy the hardware, they take on the rent. And from where they take the rent? From some companies. And those companies will provide a service. They will give the VMs. From where? So there's some company in the market. This is their business actually. कुछ कंपनी है मार्केट का बिजनेस ही ये है, लोगों को या बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी को रेंट पे देना. उन कंपनी बोलते हैं सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. उन कंपनी खुद के अपने बड़े बड़े एरिया बोलते हैं डेटा सेंटर. ओके, तो एग्जांपल नेटफ्लिक्स वहां जाएगा वो बोलेगा सर मुझे 100 कंप्यूटर चाहिए, 100 सर्वर, वो दे देगा. बाय नहीं करना है. नेटफ्लिक्स गे विल टेक एज ऑन द रेंट and they will pay the rent per monthly, per hourly basis. It means you go there, start your OS, use it for 1 hour, shut down. They only charge you for 1 hour or 2 hour, depend how much you use. This concept of business is known as pay as we go model. जितना यूज करोगे उतना पैसा लगेगा. Pay as we go model. And उन कंपनी बोलते हैं CSPs, क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स. उसका एक नाम हो रहा है क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग कंपनीज. टॉप 3 नाम पता होगा आपको. वन गूगल, उसके का नाम है GCP. ओके, सेकंड माइक्रोसॉफ्ट है, उसका नाम एज्योर है. अलीबाबा भी है, IBM का भी है. थर्ड सबसे बड़ी कंपनी है Amazon की, उसका नाम AWS क्लाउड. Again, if you talk about Netflix is using and taking all the 1 lakh computer from the AWS. So right now जो Netflix यूज करते हो, Netflix का खुद का एरिया नहीं है. ओके, द Netflix का कंप्लीट सर्वर 1 लाख सर्वर अभी समय Amazon के क्लाउड में चल रहा है, या Amazon कंपनी के अंदर चल रहा है, या Amazon कंपनी के डेटा सेंटर में चल रहा है. ओके, सो थर्ड वे to launch and install the operating system is using cloud computing companies, or I can say cloud computing technology. उनको बोलते हैं CSPs, cloud service providers. Okay, it's your choice which one you want to use. You can go for GCP cloud, Google cloud, you can go for Azure cloud for Microsoft. The top one in the market is AWS from Amazon. Amazon. Okay, benefit इसका benefit, okay, pay as you go model. अभी लैपटॉप ने लिया ना 1 लाख रुपए दिए, अभी यूज नहीं करो तो लग गया 1 लाख रुपए. अब यूज करो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता upfront. But here just go and launch 1 hour, they might say charge you 10 cents or $0.50. Shut down, they won't charge. You can launch as much as, start as much as. This is the benefit, right? But what is the drawback of the cloud computing company? Nowadays cloud is so vast, as such there is no drawback. They have everything. Whatever think about the technology, they have it. From quantum computers to IoT, machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, Linux, Windows, Mac, databases, whatever you think, they have it. Just go click and use it. Okay, but there's only one drawback in the cloud company is even though they have security also. You guys think in cloud we don't have a security, but now they have everything about security also, even though they're more secure than that what we set in a company. But there's only one drawback in the cloud company. Okay, our app, okay, it's not only app. So for any company, the critical piece is not the app. If app is been corrupted, removed, we can get again one new app. We can ask the developer, we have backup copy of the code. So app is not important, data is important. Today's everything is data. Data is the money, you guys know. Okay, our data is stored in the cloud computing companies. So I'm a Netflix. I am the bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank. If I use the cloud computing company, my data is there. And data is money, right? So they can do anything with the data. They don't do obviously, but they can do if they want. So that is the reason. Okay, a lot of financial institution, banks, any critical information data, those companies still not using cloud. They are keeping their data on their own servers, either in the bare metal or in the virtualization. Okay, you can think, for example, I'm an ICICI Bank, so I have my own lab that's called data center. And this is my own data center, it's called on premises. ये मेरा खुद का है. So I have an entire control. No one can enter. without my permission. So whenever you have this kind of case where we have need a security, high-end security, you are not allowed to store data outside. That's called compliance section. So mostly those big companies have to maintain the compliance. So what are the secure sensitive thing is they keep in their own premises, in own data center, in own lab. And what is not sensitive, they can put in the cloud. So today what we are using? We are using hybrid approach. Some part is running on the cloud and some part running on are on data center, on premise. This is called hybrid approach. So most of the top companies in the world, they are using hybrid approach. Hybrid means public means cloud outside, private means my own on premises. That's what they use. This is the only drawback of the cloud. I can say drawback, but this is where we don't use cloud. Otherwise, technically every company use cloud, but they have to think a wise decision. What we can keep in the cloud. They always want to keep everything in the cloud because they will go pay as we go, but they save a lot of money somehow. Again, they have to do many less things. Like everything done by cloud guys. They just go and use it. But something they can't put on the cloud. What part? Compliance part. Compliance means और the regulatory bodies होती है government की, but तुम ये कर सकते हो, तुम ये नहीं कर सकते हो. This is called compliance. So they have to maintain the compliance. Okay. So there's a difference between cloud, when to use, when not to use. Okay. Fourth way of installing any operating system, this is very, very fascinating. Or nowadays it become a kind of standard in the market. Because go to any of the bare metal, virtualization, and cloud. Okay, if you guys ever install any operating system, अगर आपने कभी operating system खुद install किया है, Windows या Mac या Linux या Ubuntu, you might notice installing any operating system will take some time. On average, it's 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Okay, it means in my company, I'm working in a company as employee. Okay, I have to run my app. For running the app, I need OS. OS, I have to install it. Install will take 30 minutes. So what I'll do 30 minutes? Nothing. Ideal. मेरा कोई नुकसान हुआ नहीं, कंपनी का हुआ. कंपनी मुझे पर hourly charge करती. Company will bill per hourly basis, per day basis, man hour. So it's a huge investment for the company. Because in the company, due to a lot of reasons we'll discuss in some time, a lot of reasons, every day, every week I can say, if I was Google as a case study, in a Google, every week they install and remove 1 billion operating system. Again, I'm repeating. In a Google, in 1 week, almost 1 billion OS they're installing new, fresh. And for some reason, they again delete, terminate. Again, they install. If one OS will take half hour, 1 million means 30 million minutes. We're wasting ideal doing nothing. Huge investment on the company. Okay, so if you want to save the money, you have to be fast. We need a technology. They won't wait for 30 minutes or 1 hour or 10 minutes for installing the operating system. Because it's a big challenge for every company. And guys, जो मैं कुछ फैक्ट फिगर बता रहा हूँ real है. If you search in Google, how many OS they launch per hour, per weekly, you get this report of the Google. Okay, this is how it works. So we need a technology who can do something very quick. And today we are in the world of speed, rapid, and performance. We want things to be done very, very quickly. So for this, we need a technology that will help us to install operating system very quickly. Because जब तक OS install नहीं होगा, मैं कुछ कर नहीं पाऊंगा ना. Because to doing anything in the digital world, we need OS. So the name of the technology that will install your operating system, start the operating system just in 1 second. That's all, 1 second. And name of this technology is called containerization technology. So this is a very kind of new technology. Now it's not new, it's been kind of now adapted for last 10 years in the market, but kind of new. With the help of container technology, container technology, okay, this was called containerization technology. Okay, we can install, boot, start any OS within or less than 1 second. So wow, one click. अब सोचो, one click OS launch, OS start. And second beautiful thing is, this OS, mostly when you launch any OS, it requires 1 to 2 GB RAM, right? Almost on an average. But when you launch the OS from this technology, they will launch just on around 10 to 20 MB RAM. That's all. I believe you know MB, GB, 1000, 1024 MB equal to 1 GB. So 10 से 20 MB में पूरा OS चालू हो जाएगा 1 सेकंड के. What they want. That is the reason Google is running in a week launching 1 billion OS and terminating, because they're using containers technology behind this. The question is why they want 1 billion OS to launch and terminate. There's a lot of reasons we will discuss as we go ahead. Okay, so this is one part. Again, containers is a technology. Cloud is a technology. This is technology, virtualization. Every technology to run, to implement, we need a software. And one of the very famous software for the containers is called Docker. And in this training, guys, we are going to learn a lot about Docker. Because the company is coming after 7 days, they're going to ask you a lot of things about Docker. They have a demand for the Docker. So we learn at Docker a lot. Otherwise, the competitor of the Docker, if you want to know, is a Podman. Okay, one competitor is Rocket, RKT. One competitor is called LXCs, LXDs, or maybe many more available in the market. So technically, nowadays, okay, whatever app you are seeing, server you are seeing in the market, there's high chance. Even though when you go log into Gmail, right, your account created, your account is running in your dedicated OS, you know. हर account, Gmail, मेरा account जो है ना, मेरे को अलग से OS दे रखा है Gmail में. आपके account को अलग OS दे रखा है. Why? दो OS अलग अलग होंगे तो सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच होने की चांस बहुत रेयर है. अगर दोनों अकाउंट एक OS पे चलेंगे ना, एक भी ब्रीच हुआ दूसरा ब्रीच हो जाए. Okay, the best security in the world is isolation. अगर आपके लैपटॉप को कोई हैक ना कर पाए तो क्या करोगे? इंटरनेट बंद करो. इम्पॉसिबल हैक करना. कितना वीक ओएस क्यों ना हो, हैक ही नहीं कर पाया. इसको आइसोलेशन. Okay, so in your Gmail, when I log into my Gmail, I have been given dedicated OS. Independent, isolate. You will have dedicated OS. Isolated. How is possible? ऐसा मान लो जैसे आप लॉगिन करते हो, लॉगिन करते आपका ओएस चालू हो जाता है. वो पहले चल नहीं रहा होता है, चालू हो जाता है. कैसे पॉसिबल है? लॉगिन करते ओएस मिल गया, अभी तो ऐप चल रही है आपकी, बिकॉज ऑफ कंटेनर. So every time you log in, they launch a different OS. They launch a different container. That's the technology. And आप इतना seamless होता है, फास्ट होता है, क्योंकि इतना फास्ट है. This is how it works. Okay. So the benefit of containerization is quick, fast, rapid. And today's market, we need speed. अगर कोई कंपनी रैपिड स्पीड काम नहीं करती है, they will be out of the competition. So always the best trick and secret to crack any interview in any job is, जिस भी कंपनी के लिए आप इंटरव्यू दे रहे हो, उसको क्या आप सॉल्यूशन दोगे कि उनके काम को आप फास्ट कर सको. फास्ट कर सको. तो अगर आपकी बातों में ऐसा दिख रहा है कि आपको वो अप्रोच पता है, वो टेक्निक्स पता है, जो चीजें फास्ट हो जाएगी, मतलब उनका टाइम बच जाएगा. टाइम बचेगा मतलब पैसा बच जाएगा. दूसरा, आपको क्या वो सीक्रेट पता है ताकि उनका जो पैसा लग रहा है वो कम हो जाए, हार्डवेयर पे पैसा. अगर पहले वो काम 8 GB में करते थे, क्या वो सेम काम आप 6 GB में करके दिखा सकते हो? तो परफॉर्मेंस इंक्रीज करना, ऑप्टिमाइज करना रिसोर्सेज को, पैसा बचाना. तो तो अगर आपने किसी भी कंपनी को 2 सॉल्यूशन दे दिए, सिर्फ 2, दुनिया की कोई ऐसा इंटरव्यू नहीं है उसको आप ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते, भले वो गूगल का हो जॉब, अमेजन की हो या कोई स्टार्टअप कंपनी भी क्यों ना हो। फर्स्ट, आप क्या ऐसा सॉल्यूशन दे सकते हो या आप उस लेवल पे ट्रेंड हो कि उसकी कॉस्ट को कम कर सकते हो, कॉस्ट ऑप्टिमाइजेशन। सेकेंड, वहां पे जो काम हो रहा है उसको स्पीड अप कर सकते हो, रैपिड कर सकते हो। अगर ये 2 चीज अगर आपको आती है तो इस बात की मेरी गारंटी है, मेरी गारंटी है कि दुनिया की कोई भी इंटरव्यू को आप ब्रेक ना कर पाओ, ऐसा नहीं हो पाएगा। यू कैन क्रैक एनी इंटरव्यू बिकॉज दिस व्हाट द कंपनी लुकिंग फॉर। ओके, क्योंकि अभी वो दुनिया खत्म हो गई है। समझना इस बात को, हम इंजीनियर हैं, हम सेल्समैन नहीं। दिस इज नॉट आवर जॉब टू गिव द बिजनेस टू द कंपनी। हम ये सोचते हैं पर नहीं, इंजीनियर्स भी कंपनी को प्रॉफिट देता है। क्योंकि किसी कंपनी में प्रॉफिट लेने के 2 तरीके होते हैं, एक तो ज्यादा सेल करो या जो ऑलरेडी टेक्नोलॉजी है उसको ऑप्टिमाइज कर दो। अगर मान लो नेटफ्लिक्स अमेजन क्लाउड को, जहां नेटफ्लिक्स चलता है, वो हर साल $4 बिलियन देता है उसको यूज करने का, ऐसा मैं क्या करूं कि 4 बिलियन को मैं कम करके 3 बिलियन कर दूं? 25% कॉस्ट रिड्यूस। वो कौन का? टेक्नोलॉजी लोग करेंगे ना। तो मैंने क्या कर दिया, प्रॉफिट बढ़ा दिया, उसका मार्जिन बढ़ा दिया। तो अगर ऐसा कोई कर पाएगा तो उस कंपनी के पीछे लोग पड़ जाएंगे, भाई इसको आता है ऑप्टिमाइज करना, मेरा पैसा बचाएगा। तो 2 तरीके इंजीनियर काम अब ये है। तो यू हैव टू, जिस भी कंपनी के लिए आप इंटरव्यू करो, स्टडी करके जाओ कि उस कंपनी में वो क्या टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर रहे हैं, किस प्रोडक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, और आप कैसे कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हो। इंटरव्यू वो पूछेगा नहीं, आपस में रखो, अपने में रखो। So I think you are guys using AWS cloud, using this concepts and technology, EC2, Lambda वगैरह वगैरह. I think you might have this architecture. That's what I understood. But if you use this architecture in this way, it will save 10% of your cost. This is what I tested in my own lab. I've done POC, proof of concept, setup मैंने खुद करके देखा है. I have the idea. क्यों नहीं रहेंगे आपको? Because saving 10%, right? 10% is a huge amount for the company. 5%, 1%, 1.001% also. Why not? That's what they're looking for. तो ऐसा नहीं बनना है हमको कि भाई जॉब दे दो, प्लीज सर, जॉब दे दो, ऐसा नहीं बनना है। इंजीनियर, you have that reputation, value system also. I'm working for you, saving you money, helping you optimizing things. I'm doing for you, you're doing giving salary, my roles, and profile, and mutual thing. So start thinking this way, guys. Okay, so sorry, sorry. So in this training, you will see, आपको दिखेगा ये सब चीज। Even though I'm going to start thinking going very zero, हर चीज बेसिक बता रहा हूँ, ये होता है, ये होता है, ये होता है, ये होता है। But still you see, when I talk about the basics also, I will talk about, okay, इसको ऐसे optimize करेंगे, इसको ऐसे सोचेंगे. This is what the approach we're going to use. Okay, so in this training, we will focus on 3 things. कैसे हम किसी कंपनी के पैसों को बचाएं, टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए, कैसे उनके काम को फास्ट कर दें। एग्जांपल, ओएस को लॉन्च करने का हम डॉकर से करवा देंगे, जस्ट वन एग्जांपल। और थर्ड, हम सोचेंगे अप्रोच, विल लर्न द अप्रोच। अप्रोच का मतलब क्या हुआ? हर कंपनी दे हैव लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स एंड प्रॉब्लम्स कीप ऑन चेंजिंग। ओके, बट इफ यू नो द अप्रोच, हाउ टू टैकल द प्रॉब्लम एंड हाउ टू सॉल्व इट, you can solve the upcoming problems also. So they're looking for someone who know the approach of solving any technical challenges. So you'll see in this 7 days, I will focus a lot about approach. Okay. Otherwise, I told you the agenda. We'll talk about Linux. We'll talk about networking, security, Docker. We're going to learn. We're going to learn some kind of coding, it's called scripting, self scripting. So ये सब हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं. Okay. So I have given you some of the basic vocabulary here. Okay, right now the first topic as a practical that we are going to start is Linux as operating system. It's a very interesting topic. You guys, we're gonna enjoy this topic for sure. Okay, but the plan is I'm going to install Linux as a virtual machine on the top of my Oracle virtual box. For this, you need two things. One, you need this software that I told you. Just go to website and download. And we have given this link already to you in, I think, in your WhatsApp group somewhere. Okay. And second thing is, because I'm going to use Red Hat Linux. Red is one company, and they have their own Linux operating system in the market. Known as RHEL, RHEL. RHEL means Red Hat Enterprise Linux. The kind of latest version in the market is I think 10 is also now come up. But the kind of latest version that is usable in the market is 9. That's what we're going to learn over here. Okay. So we are going to install Red Hat 9 as a machine on the top of this software. For this, we have given you some image. And you just load this image because installation is not so much important. If I start installing, it will take 1 hour unwanted, waste the time. Because nobody gonna ask you how to install. You can learn anywhere. You can share the extra videos. So to save the time, we have given you pre-install OS, so we can start working directly. Only thing, this image you have to load. How to load? First download in your laptop, and then load in the VM as a virtual box. In the virtual box as a VM. Okay. So I think it will take, if you already downloaded, the load will take almost, I mean, 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. So my team Syed will guide you how to load. Technically, what you will see in 1 or 2 minutes, you will have one more OS running here. And our entire training, 99.99% we are going to do on the top of Red Hat Linux. So that would be the plan. Again, I would like to tell you guys one more time, okay, what we are doing here, just to keep on reminding what we are doing here. Okay, my plan is in 7 days, I want to give you a job. That's my plan. And for this, you should be with me, learn, listen, do the practical. Practical we start हुआ नहीं हालांकि. Okay, but after every 2 or 3 hours per day, we going to give you a kind of quiz or different kind of test. जहां आप अपने आप खुद समझ पाएंगे कि आप पढ़ रहे हो या नहीं पढ़ रहे हो. अब पढ़ोगे समझ में जरूर आएगा, ये बात की गारंटी है. नहीं पढ़ोगे तो टेस्ट परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो हम धीरे धीरे लोगों को आउट करते जाएंगे. तो हो सकता है लास्ट तक बहुत से लोग आउट अपने आप हो जाए. ओके, पर जॉब की कमी है मार्केट में, फ्रेशर के लिए जॉब नहीं है. आपको पता होगा कॉलेज की हालत क्या है. ओके, और डेवऑप्स जॉब तो मिलती ही नहीं है फ्रेशर. ओके, डेवऑप्स जैसे जॉब, स्टिल वी आर गिविंग यू डेवऑप्स जॉब. आपको पता होगा पैकेज क्या मिल रहा है, 5 लाख to 8 लाख के आसपास. ठीक, इन द जॉब इज ऑल्सो ग्रेट, पैकेज इज ऑल्सो गुड, जस्ट 7 days. और क्या चाहिए? So, but you should be active, and I'm here active with you guys. My team also with you. So Syed will take a lead. He quickly in 5 minutes explain you how to install, how to import. Then after 5 minutes, we'll start the learning journey. Okay? So Syed, please take it forward. Also tell.